This is a video I'm doing on the Rite Press, the no mess French press, as you can see here. On, it looks like November 19th, the Rite team had basically published an update regarding the status of the French presses. That there was a container that had been shipped out with the original stainless steel, the full 1 liter, because that's what I got. Along with that update, they said they had some kind of issues with the production, one of the parts, and that they had also made a new French press, the Essential Plus, I think it was called. This is basically a plastic version, and they were going to be shipping these out instead of the initial Rite presses because of the delay on the ½ liter. They had some issues there. If I'm getting this whole story correct, basically they decided to make this Essential Plus version so that people could get this for Christmas because of all the delays that were going on. And yeah, so I was not one of those people, evidently, that was affected by this, because as you can see here, I have the French press. I first started making this video when I received my Rite Press back in November, but I never got around to actually completing it. Fast forwarding to February, when the creators posted an update that basically detailed how they ran out of money. Plenty of people still hadn't received their presses, including those who had already paid for shipping, and that they were also asking for more money. So I figured that this is the time now to make this video, get it out to people so that they could be informed as to what the final product would be, and if they would want to even begin to put some trust into giving the creators some more money. So here we go. That did not pop out easily. It's probably meant to open the other way. Kind of a cool box. So it looks like, yeah, by opening the top, you would have had beauty and function. The Rite Press logo. Talking about that thermometer, that hourglass, and that removable bottom, which is supposed to be the right way to clean up the no mess press. And this is the 2.0, I guess. So, cool box though inside. Definitely some cool artwork. Nice touches there. So we'll get this unwrapped. And you can see it in all its glory there. This, pop this out. You've got a couple things inside here, as I'd expect, since the thermometer was missing on the top. That is noisy. So in this first package here, it looks to be the hourglass. Charcoal sand in there. So that I thought was supposed to be magnetic, but it's stainless steel, so oh, okay, so I found the magnetic part. It is just the front. Put some time on the clock. And then lastly, we have the thermometer. So pretty basic, just the little Rite logo. Gold, perfect zone, and too hot. And so this basically sits in there. So let's see, first thoughts. So it's a pretty hefty stainless steel. Got hot surface. Tighten before use. Let's unscrew this. So got a pretty simple thread on the inside. Pretty wide. and that's where all the coffee grounds should be going. And then you have the bottom of the press. The top has a gasket around it so that when you press it down, it's supposed to stay sealed. Though the top just kind of doesn't really seem to make a nice seal. It just kind of wobbles around there, unfortunately. There's a gasket on the bottom too. I guess if any of these go, you're basically shit out of luck, because it doesn't seem like they included any extras. I don't know, it's kind of feels kind of chintzy, I guess is the term for it. At least the top does. The handle's pretty giant. That seems to be welded on there. Let's see if you can get a good look at it. I mean, this seal isn't really doing anything. There's also quite a bit of play there, as you can see. Yeah, I guess we'll show the inside too. There's not really much going on. There is I guess a max fill line perhaps, but no other markings inside that I can see. I don't think I showed the bottom. Rite Company, designed in California, assembled in China. That it did. Took its sweet time. Let's zoom in here. Is that rust? What is that? Kind of looks like rust, if I'm not mistaken. Right there. Something I'm noticing here, if you can see. Not even right there. That's pretty. Right there. That's pretty shitty. That ridge is not smooth at all. Trying to get this to show up well. Look how jagged that is. I guess I'll show it in use here next. I've used it a couple times, but I want to give this a go to kind of show you the experience with it. Sorry, it's a little blemished up, but I guess that goes to show how this thing kind of holds up. I got some water boiling here. I can go ahead and fill this up. So add some water. It's not quite getting to the sweet spot, I guess. I don't know if I didn't have the water boiling all the way enough, or if that basically, and this is freaking hot, which is not a great design, I guess. But having the wall between where that comes through, I mean, that only goes yay down if you're getting the actual temperature of the water, or if there's going to be some sort of gap. It's not directly submerged. Throw in some coffee grinds here. And give it a swirl. I usually will kind of do that. I also didn't check to see if this was all fully tightened, which it seems like it is because I have not had any leakage. And I guess I'll flip that timer over, and now we wait. Wow, finally it's out of time. As you could see there, probably, I actually had to get the sand moving again. Great quality timer. Um, I've only used it a few times, so that's a little disconcerting. Alright, so I guess it's time to press that lovely, beautiful metal on metal sound. So, one of the great things about having the thing under here is that it's just in the way. I mean, you can do that, of course, but it's not really placed in the greatest of spots. Really wish you were able to mount it over there. But alright, we got ourselves a thing of coffee. So, I have since emptied the rest of it, because there's just kind of a test cup of coffee there. It's not that bad though, so water's evacuated. Let's test out how it is to empty the thing. Here we've got a nice garbage can. And I'm going to take this off. Got the coffee grounds there. And I guess not too bad. And there it is, all cleaned out. And you got like a little bit going on the bottom. I guess you can give that kind of a scrape or something. Oh, and there that goes. So to look at how well this thing filtered it though. Oh, this is gonna be hot. It's hot. You can see kind of along the edges that bit of residue, leftover grounds on the edges. It didn't perfectly filter it out. Yeah, I don't know, I guess you can give that a shake or something. You can rinse the rest out and you're done. Clearly it does the job. I wouldn't say that it's necessarily much better than a typical French press. It's not too much more difficult to shake out the contents with the whole thing. I guess if you typically have a glass one, you don't have to bang the glass against the side. However much it was on the Kickstarter and how much they're planning on selling it as of for retail, not really sure I would recommend it over a cheap $20 French press that you can just find in the store. This thing is super loud, as I've mentioned before. Clearly there's some issues with the sand timer, as I had issues with it stopping, which is not too great. Another thing I mentioned before is that the top is kind of a little on the wobbly side, and it doesn't really make the best seal. Since there's a little bit of wobble. I didn't have any issues with it overflow or anything, but take it for what you will. And then the other big thing was kind of the crummy machining on here. As you can see, the jagged edge. But I guess you kind of forget about it. But for however much they're going to charge retail, hopefully they would get stuff like that figured out and straightened out. But for the $30 or whatever I paid for this, I don't know. It's certainly more robust than a typical French press with the glass. We've had 3 here, and they have all end up shattering. So at my apartment. So I guess that is one benefit to the stainless steel, is that this thing's going to be super durable. Not sure what's really else is out there in terms of glass versus stainless steel. So do with it what you may. These thoughts hopefully lets you have an informed decision on the Rite Press, and if giving these guys some extra money is worth it for you. But I'm gonna drink this cup of coffee here, and thanks for watching.